Anthony, LeBron comes back tonight, gives you guys 40 minutes, 29 points. What can you say about his return?
It's a return. He did what he did. I think he had a triple-double, right? So, I mean, he doing LeBron-type things. Expected nothing less from him. Efficient from the field. He did what he was supposed to do. He helped us for sure. So, missed him. He's a big part of our team with his voice, leadership, playmaking ability. He came back and showed it.
After giving up 71 points in the first half, what adjustments did you guys make defensively to kind of shut him down through the majority of the third and fourth quarters?
Play defense. We wasn't playing any type of defense. We wasn't physical. They were a more physical team. They were playing harder than us. And we have to stop doing that, digging ourselves a hole. But we were able to, Malik was able to, win that third quarter for us alone. And then we just fed off of him going into the fourth and then overtime. So we got to do a better job of not digging ourselves a hole, but we just took it upon ourselves to actually play some defense and cut some guys' water off and not give them a lot of open looks.
And 18 points from Malik in that third quarter. What did he do for you guys in terms of getting you back in the game?
Yeah, just like you said. Him alone, beat the Knicks in the third quarter. So he was able to get us going, get our juice going, get our rhythm offensively going, and it was able to help us carry that into the fourth quarter and overtime. Play with a little bit more swag on the offensive end.
AD, just thinking about after last game, the way that ended, how upset you were at the result of that. With LeBron coming back, does it just feel a little like there's a little more wind at your back when he's in the game and you guys are facing some of these situations in crunch time?
He definitely helps us in crunch time situations, late game situations, for sure. But I think even in that Clipper game, we executed phenomenally at the end, and tonight too as well. Guys fighting, guys competing, and I think the thing that almost cost us the game was our free throw shooting. We were terrible again, 17 for 28. So we got to just go to the gym and just shoot free throws for the next 2 days. That's going to cost us games, and it almost cost us tonight. But it definitely helps having him, to come back and kind of lead the pack in the late game situations.
AD, how do you account for the way you guys started and that first half? And we've talked so much about you guys having your backs against the wall a little bit and the need for wins. You got there, obviously, but how do you account for that first half? And then what was halftime like when you guys came in after that?
We just dig ourselves a hole too much, like transition. We came out and they got 3 quick threes, and all of them was in transition. Not communicating, not stopping the ball, and now they find the right guy and they're making shots. And that was kind of like the entire first quarter. It wasn't physical. They was getting whatever they want. Everything was easy. And we were playing with no physicality, no force whatsoever. And then at halftime, second quarter we kind of fixed it. And at halftime, we played great in that second quarter, cut the lead down to 15, and said to stay with it. Now let's play some defense. We play defense. We get whatever we want on the offensive end. And that's what we did in the third quarter. Holding the team to 13 points. It was phenomenal. And so we just wanted to come out and just play with a little sense of urgency on the defensive end.
AD, the championship that you helped the Lakers win in 2020 put a stamp on the talent that was so obvious that you possessed. But then over the last year and a half, some of the same critiques of your game have popped up from the media, whatever you want to call it, fans. And this time when you were out, the 17 games, did you put yourself in a place to I need to get back to that guy I was in Orlando?
I was about to say Orlando. That's the bubble. Yes and no. Obviously, I knew, even though the numbers was kind of there, I didn't feel like myself. Wasn't helping the team, as much as I could have to win basketball games early in the year. And I take ownership of that. And when the knee injury happened, I was able to step away from the game and just evaluate myself. Not looking at other guys and what they could be doing. Looking at myself in the mirror and see how I could be better. And I just took that upon myself to have that mindset of being that 80 that they wanted to bring here, playing with energy, playing with effort, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, energy on the defensive end, and it's kind of what I just took upon myself to do, since the return. And no matter who we're playing, I have to be that for our team, and that's what I've been as of late. And you see our games have been different, knowing that they feed off me, especially on the defensive end, energy, effort. And so I try to bring that every game for our guys, and hopefully each night can result in a win.
Eddie, you haven't spent a ton of time on the court with Russ to this point of the season, but I'm curious, how do you pick him up after a night like this? Not playing in overtime, boos from the fans, some hesitation and some shots. How do you personally approach kind of your job as a leader with a guy who's accomplished obviously a lot in this league, and Russ?
Well, I'm just staying in his ear. It can be frustrating. The fans obviously want to see him play better. But, one thing you can't do is put too much pressure on yourself. You got to go out there and play freely. With some shots tonight that he usually take in rhythm, and he kind of passed up or hesitated. And me and LB was just telling him, like, we don't care if you miss everyone, just play. Shoot your rhythm shots, don't hesitate. And obviously it's easier said than done, just because when you're in it, you don't want to be missing shots. I mean, he doesn't try to miss. And a lot of shots he take, are shots that he can make. But he gotta stay out of his own head. You just gotta continue to play and do the little things. When I was going through the whole little thing where I wasn't playing well, I tried to always do the little things, for our team, the intangibles, and that kind of get you going, get you in a rhythm, and that's what he have to do. He has to, you got 2 days to kind of just get away and just, try to lock back in, come Milwaukee. But, as a leader of the team, me, Bron, we try to, just continue to talk to him and just make sure that, he's not in his own head and putting a lot of pressure on himself.
Last question,
AD, Trevor had been struggling and had fallen out of the rotation, and now with Melo out, he plays 35 minutes tonight, closes the game. What did he give you guys, and how do you kind of see him fitting in alongside you and LeBron?
3 and D. I mean, he's able to shoot the 3 ball. He's great defensively. He plays hard, make the right plays. He's been great the last couple games. With 7 out, he came in and stepped up in the Clipper game, and then stepped up tonight. Played big minutes. So I think that's the most minutes he played all season. And he played well for us. So it's a tough call for Coach when Melo comes back. But I'm pretty sure the way he's been playing for us, I mean, we got to continue to play him. He definitely can help us when he's on the floor. But he's a true professional. Like you say, in and out of the lineup. Some games he don't play, then he gets thrown in randomly, and he's ready to go at all times. So, commend him for that, for his continuous work behind the scenes and staying ready.